This will be a random collection of thoughts and intentions that I've written. Let's begin. We can bear witness to our suffering and the cause of our suffering. We may not be able to change the cause, but what we can change is our attitude towards that cause and let it go. The root of our suffering is the ego, which is totally based on the past and the conditioned mind. I'll talk more about that later. Suffering can lead us to freedom from suffering because it teaches us about our ego. Observe your mind, how you speak, how you listen, how you act. All of this is based on the conditioned mind. By that I mean all of the things of the past, all of your relations with parents, friends, teachers, media, all teaching you who you should be and what should make you happy. But all of those things are in the past. When you're living this moment, right now, fully, completely, you can experience the joy and beauty of this moment. See this moment fresh and new and experience it without the interference of the past. Yes, there will be obstacles, fear, anger, frustration, not being satisfied. They exist. Can you let them go? What does it feel like when you do let them go? During those times when the negative obstacles appear, can you remember to be grateful? To be grateful. It's also a good time to think, what are my core values? Decide what your core values are. Perhaps words like loving kindness, tolerance, patience, empathy will help you decide what your core values are. And then use the emotions that come to you from those core values to help you let go of the emotional attachments to the negative experiences. When feeling stressed, though it may seem counterintuitive, let a gentle smile come to you. A smile can change all of the tension in your body. It can help to release it. It can also help with your state of mind. It's good and actually enjoyable to learn just to sit still and be calm. In each moment, try to live your core values. Your conditioned mind will not let you do this. It will create an illusion of self, but it's not who you truly are. who you are your core values. Bring those to your consciousness. Water those seeds. Bring them up. Let them grow. If you water the seeds of anger and frustration, that's what will grow. But it doesn't have to. It's your choice. You can decide. If you fall short of living your core values, it's okay. You've merely discovered your humaneness. You've also discovered how much more spiritual work needs to be done. Sometimes people will ask, what is meditation? There's many forms, many methods. Try to live mindfully from moment to moment throughout the day. Be mindful of your words, your thoughts, your actions, reactions, how you listen. Be mindful of your heart. All of that is meditation in action. And it can transform your life. When dealing with a difficult situation, which can be triggered by an event, words, a person, a child, try to pause. Try to create some joy before dealing. If you don't, you may be trying to talk to someone while you yourself are filled with anxiety, stress, anger. The chances of a good outcome will not be very good. But if you do pause and can change your state of mind into what your core values represent, then when you speak mindfully, with loving kindness, tenderness, compassion, empathy. How you speak and what you say can make a tremendous difference in the outcome, because the person listening to you gets a sense of being of value, being loved. And that is probably what they're looking for. And it's probably what you are looking for. And your chances of a miraculous outcome in a difficult situation are greatly improved. One of the most important points of these talks is living in the present moment. But not only living in the present moment, but learning to be grateful in that moment. If you ask people, are you grateful for things? They will say, yes, I am grateful. But to say it and to be it are two different things. To be grateful means bringing your core values into your conscious mind. Understanding what you have to be grateful for. And to remember that each moment, even when the moments are difficult. Perhaps it's easier to live this way when there's a certain amount of stillness, calm, that you have practiced. When there is stillness and calm, the core values such as loving kindness, compassion, all those good words with those good feelings come into play and remind you of what there is to be grateful for. So when the negativity arrives, and it will, we can let the emotional attachments of that negativity and those thoughts come in the front door, go out the back door. Just don't serve them tea. In other words, don't obsess over them. Watch them go, and they will, especially if you replace them with the seeds that you have watered in your consciousness of your core values and what there is to be grateful for. Every once in a while, it is true that if you just gently smile to yourself, try it, you will feel your body relax just a little bit. State of calm. Try it in this moment, then the next, and the next. These small habits, replacing the habits of the conditioned mind, can make a large difference in how you feel about your life and how you deal with the events of your life, the people in your life. Try practicing being still. If you give it a chance, you may come to a place where you can actually enjoy that practice. And in so doing, enjoy more of your life. Sometimes in a relationship, an argument occurs. It's a good time to remember that being right isn't as important as a healthy relationship. Remember your vows. Discover your vows. Perhaps they have something to do with right speech, do no harm. Right actions, do no harm. Mindfulness. You have now discovered a new purpose, another purpose for your life. That is to bring joy to someone else. And in so doing, bring joy to yourself. Our intention in life and our purpose of life should be one. And if your intentions come from your heart, then your purpose in life will have more love in it. And what a difference that will make. There is a song that I learned a long time ago. And there's a phrase in the song that says, "The greatest thing you'll ever know is just to love and be loved in return." Perhaps that's a phrase you can use as you start each day. Or find your own phrase that works for you. And as you go through your day, there's a bump in the road, use that phrase to remind you of who you truly are, without the conditioned mind, without the hurts of the past. Use the phrase, and you will find the bump is smaller, and you'll get through it and still have love in your heart, and your purpose of living is to love and be loved in return. There is an ancient word called mudita. Mudita. It means sympathetic joy. So when someone else is happy, has experienced something wonderful, you too feel joy for them and for you, because you care about them. You can add it to your purpose for living. It's a nice intention. Living is all about loving in everything we say and do. You are the truth. Give it space to be. Empty yourself of yourself and find that truth. And then live the best life that you can. Compassion is the highest form of human expression. Set your intentions to relate to yourself, others, events, with love, understanding, forgiveness, and fewer judgments. This will lead you to compassion. At the end of the day, look at the moments where you were successful in living your intentions and rejoice. Look at the moments where perhaps you fell short. It's okay. Be gentle with yourself. And remember, it's in those moments when we learn the most about ourselves and we grow. The greatest study is just to observe and learn about yourself. And that will lead you to peace of mind. Our values are not goals to be achieved and then finished. Rather, they are to be lived as best we can, so we live a life that matters. Suffering is part of life, but suffering can also lead to freedom from suffering if we gain insight as to why we suffer. Usually, when we're triggered by a word or action, we react with the conditioned mind, a mind of the past. Past hurts. We say, that triggers me. It does so because you're living in the past, and that's what you're bringing to the present moment. But that is not your true self, and this is the key insight That's not where your core values abide. That's not where loving kindness, compassion, forgiveness lives. If you decide to respond instead of react with your core values, it changes everything. It creates freedom from suffering. Because when you speak, you're no longer speaking as a person who is hurt. You're no longer responding with anger. And anger can never resolve anger. Only good communication can. There's an ancient word, ahimsa. Ahimsa. It means no harm. Through your insights, if you speak and act with the intention of no harm, it changes everything for you. It changes everything for the other person. And this is how relationships can thrive. This is how we can learn to forgive ourselves and the other person. We understand we have weaknesses, as do they. Most of our weaknesses come from the conditioned mind, that part of the ego that lives in the past. Same is true for the other person. If you speak inappropriately and through insight, you understand that you have spoken inappropriately, and you understand that is part of your conditioned mind's reactive mind. Can you forgive yourself? You can. And if need be, you can apologize. I spoke incorrectly. That's not really who I am. What if the other person speaks incorrectly? Can we remember that's not really who they are? Help them to understand who they really are. They may not have your insights. Perhaps you need to share that. Help them to forgive themselves. Communicate and relate to each other with your values. You are in relationship with everything around you. And we can live a life free from suffering to a much greater degree than you may be living now. Meditation is part of all of this, because the insights often come about during those times you are sitting quietly, observing your mind, watch the thoughts, learn about yourself, and learn to forgive and come to a different place, to live the values so you can live a better life, a life that matters for you and everything in your world, so that you and all you relate to can thrive. As you start your day, remember that you are related to all things around you. When you sit down for breakfast, are you grateful for the food? Are you grateful for the farmer, the people who work the fields, the people who drive the products to the market? Once in the market, the people who put it on the shelves for you. Are you grateful for all of those people? You cannot thrive without them. They cannot thrive without you. We are all related, and because of that, we should respect all people with our words and our deeds. Speaking of respect, do you respect the sacredness of your body? There are many things in our society that encourage us to eat the wrong foods in the wrong amounts. We can become easily addicted to eating that way. Sometimes there's an emotional attachment to the food, the pleasure of eating. But there's another pleasure attached to eating, and that's eating healthy, well. Whenever we do something well, there's pleasure involved. We enjoy that. So when you sit to eat, pause. Your state of mind is important. Bring your values to the moment. Bring your true self to the moment. Remember, you are enough just as you are. And get the enjoyment from eating not so much on how much you eat, but how well you eat. This can be applied to any addiction: cigarettes, alcohol, the iPhone. It's nice to once in a while be still. Pause. Be joyful, thankful you're alive. That's the greatest gift. And instead of reaching for something that we don't really need, make it a joyful day by living in a healthy way, emotionally and physically. It's one of the key purposes of being alive, is to live well. Live well. And if you have children, you want to model for them how to live well. Enjoy your day. Make it a happy and healthy one. When you start your day, be inspired by what you see around you. There's so much beauty. Sometimes the silhouette of a tree against the sky, the bird on the wing gliding by, the colors. Can you see them fresh, new, for the first time? Can you see your relationships that way as well? Can you see a smile and still find joy in that smile? In a kind word? It's not dull, it's not repetitive, it's still fresh and new and meaningful. When we see things this way, fully experienced in that moment, we have less negative thoughts because we are not focused on ourselves. We are no longer living with the conditioned mind, which is of the past. Instead, we're living mindfully in this moment. Now the question is, how do we live mindfully? Mindfully really means being aware right now in the present moment, as opposed to the conditioned mind, which means living in the past that you bring with you to the present moment. What should we be aware of? Our thoughts, our emotions, actions, how we listen, how we speak. All of this is mindfulness, and it's something you can practice throughout your day. It will make a huge difference in your day and in your relationships, not only to people, but to activities. So, for example, if I have to do the dishes, sometimes it's done with resentment. Other times, when mindfulness is in place, I can be grateful for the fact that I'm standing up, able to do this, that my hands and arms are coordinated enough to wash the dishes, that I'm probably doing an activity so someone else doesn't have to. I'm providing a service. I'm serving them. These are all reasons for me to be grateful that I'm doing the dishes. I can do them slowly, not rush through them, almost as a meditation. Being here now, enjoying this activity, adds to my life. Walking outside, walking to wherever you need to go, can be a very pleasant activity. Walk slow. You may notice as you walk slowly, your entire body calms down. If your mind is very active, sometimes the pace at which you walk is very fast. Where are you rushing to? Enjoy the walk. Each step is a step in peace, in calm, in stillness. As you go throughout your day, you can remember to pause, stillness, say a word, smile. All of this reminds you to be aware, and it allows you to enjoy your day. And the more you practice this, you will find that your mind does not race as much as it used to. Even negative thoughts come and go. You're not clinging to them because you are just enjoying the present moment. Life, living right now. Sit with someone in stillness. Try this. Let your hearts connect. That would be a real love connection.
Allow them space just to be quietly. Experience the relationship as if it is new and fresh. Experience your whole day in this way and just enjoy the day. Enjoy your life. Sometimes people we love can trigger a reaction of anger or frustration. Could be an adult, could be a child, a young child. Young child especially, because their world is all about me and pleasure. And you, as a parent, sometimes have to say no, and the activity they're having so much fun with needs to stop. You're taking away their pleasure. And their response may be yelling and screaming because they don't really have the words to express themselves. If you are living with the conditioned mind syndrome, you may respond in anger. Is there another way? Pause. Bring to your consciousness your core values. What are they? Have you decided what they are? Do words like loving kindness, empathy, compassion, could they be useful at a time like this? If you can bring those words which come with those emotions, then how you respond to your child may be quite different. And when you speak to your child, remembering ahimsa, no harm. And what you say and how you say it may have a good impact on the child. And they may listen for a while and change their behavior. But who would be surprised if after a while they went right back to the behavior you don't want? Their understanding at this age is limited. And so here we go again. Or do we? That's up to you. What will your response be? Will you be frustrated because you tried to handle it calmly, didn't seem to work completely? But like many things, sometimes you have to do it again and again and again. So we pause, and again we think and respond with loving kindness again, gentleness, tenderness again. Why not? What does it cost us? You want to model for your child that when there is frustration, the anger response is not appropriate. There are other ways to respond. If you respond out of anger when frustrated, that's what you're teaching them to do. Nobody wants that. How do we learn to be mindful and to bring up the pause? Well, this is where meditation comes into play. Find time every day to sit still. Let your thoughts come and go. See what happens when you don't hold on to them. You just let them come and go. And at the same time, you're bringing in other words. You're bringing in your core values. You're watering those seeds so that they can grow and come up into your consciousness, so that they can lead you through your day and the events of your day, even the difficult moments. Remember, this is a child you love, you respect. Your relationship is sacred. Treat it as such. No, it's not easy. But the more you practice the meditation, not only in the morning for a few minutes, but then the mindfulness throughout the day, the easier it becomes, the more natural it becomes. And when there's a bump in the road and you're tested, you may just find you have a better way, a healthier way for you and the other person in how you respond. So be a good practitioner, as Thich Nhat Hanh would say. Be a good practitioner. Practice every day. Experience the difference in your life. And there will be a difference. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your meditation. Enjoy your children, all your friends and family. Be a good practitioner. Enjoy your day. We are often trying to create happiness in our lives. And we look for special moments that bring us that happiness. And certainly there's nothing wrong with being happy. The problem is, if we're relying on special moments, what happens when there aren't special moments? Or at least you don't perceive them as special. And you don't feel the happiness. Joy, to me, is different than happy. Joy is something that is within you all the time. When you feel you are enough, that you have enough, and your attitude towards living is full of gratefulness and joy, and the joy that you can then bring to others, everything changes in your life. All of your relationships are better, and you feel better, and more satisfied with life in general. So when you're talking to a partner in life, sometimes instead of that joy, we bring our pain and they bring their pain. And the two pains collide in the conversation. What should we do at that moment? Pause. Even if you've already answered in anger, you can still pause. What should you bring to the moment? What would work best? Some way to make the other person feel heard, valued, loved. And that way is through our words. Not the words of the conditioned mind that made you angry, but the words of your true self. Words of love and tenderness and compassion and empathy. So they do feel heard, valued, and loved. What a difference that will make Also, when you're speaking, you should also be listening. Something I call love listening. So that when they speak, your heart can hear what their heart is saying without the judgments, criticisms, feeling hurt. Sometimes our perceptions are so off. It's not what they meant. Bring the love listening, the kind words of speech to your discussion. It will make a tremendous difference. In that same discussion, someone might say, well, that's who I am. I would like to put forth that there's no such thing as that's who I am. We're always changing. Feelings, emotions, thoughts come and go. And what about room for growth in your life? Growth that makes you a better partner, a better parent, employer, employee. We can evolve and grow. And the obstacles, be it a difficult discussion or anything else, are actually our greatest teachers. We can grow more from our obstacles than when things are going easy. And when we grow and we understand, there's joy and peace of mind. I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about suffering. Not the type of suffering that's a matter of life and death situations. Rather, the suffering of the everyday, the ordinary. Whether it's at work, relationships of all kinds, finances, house repairs, whatever comes your way that makes you suffer. Does it have to be that way? The answer, I think, is no. We can improve our situation. This requires some insight into how do we reduce suffering. Not eliminate it. There will always be obstacles, just that we're going to deal with them differently. One insight is that we suffer because we're living in a mindset of how we've been conditioned to think and who we think we should be and what we should need to be happy. But is that real? Does that have to be real? Is that the only way to look at life, through those eyes? What if you were able to begin to learn how to empty yourself of yourself? And by that I mean letting go of some of the thoughts, emotions, and feelings that you have based on what you've taught to have. And when you empty, there's room for something else. And that something else is your ability to be joyous. We know how to be joyous. We've talked about this already. Be grateful. Find your true self. Discover your core values. Bring these to each moment, instead of things you've been taught that you think this is how I must be to be happy. Look at things with fresh eyes, experiencing everything new and fresh. And if something happens that it doesn't go quite right, you now have learned another way to deal. Less frustration, less anger, more compassion, more forgiveness. And you will find there is less suffering. At night, before going to bed, can you lovingly embrace the inevitable contradictions of the day? If you can, then you can let them go and fill the void with joy and start your new day with that mindset and make it the best day you know. That is your intention. Make it happen. Enjoy. Now I would like to speak to you about the most powerful word in any language, the word love. For those who talk about it, feel it, nourish it, have that mindset throughout the day, moment to moment, it can transform your life, your whole world. It will allow you to walk in serenity, tenderness, and peace. So I leave you with that word, those thoughts. This finishes my talks, but I'm going to do a short meditation for those of you who would like to try this with me. It won't be too long. Might be fun to try. Make yourself comfortable. I would prefer that you didn't lie down. That would be too comfortable. It's good if you could sit in a pretty straight position so you remain alert, but calm, relaxed. So let us begin. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly in, slowly out. The purpose of this is just to relax. You're alert, but you're relaxed. Breathe in, breathe out. Any thoughts, good or bad, just let them go by. Just let them pass and refocus on your breathing. In, out, in, out. If you've done that for a while, you might then choose a word or a phrase, something that means something to you and helps you to relax. I will choose for myself the word serene. So I breathe in serene for me, and I breathe out serene for you and everyone else I will meet today. Serene in, serene out. Serene in, serene out. I bring serenity to me. I give serenity to you. In, out, find a word or phrase that will work for you. Serene, out, serene. In, in serene, out serene. And you can do that for a few moments, as long as you like. Then you can choose another word. For me, loving kindness. Loving kindness in, for me, I will treat myself, including my weaknesses and flaws, with loving kindness. And out, loving kindness for you and everyone I meet. So I may treat your weaknesses and your flaws with loving kindness. In, loving kindness. Out, loving kindness. In, loving kindness. Out, loving kindness. And you may do this for a few minutes, moments. Try to do this every day. It's a practice. A good practitioner practices. It can become enjoyable, something you look forward to doing. Breathe in, breathe out, loving kindness in, for me, loving kindness out, for you. As you go through your day and your meditation session has ended, it's not really over. Throughout the day, carry the feeling of your meditation session with you. Remember the intention of your meditation. Live it. In everything you do, say, actions, live your meditation. Be it. It will make such a difference in your life. And this will bring to end the meditation session and these talks. So I say goodbye to you for now, and perhaps one day we'll talk again. Goodbye.